Yeah, Jinx Breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BGR.
it's that Russian cream,
Russian.
y'all.
Yeah, rolling up Russian cream. It's never a backward drought.
Gang!
Rolling up Russian cream. It's never a backward drought. Yeah, rolling up Russian cream. It's never a backward drought. It's never a backward drought. It's never a backward.
Let's Jinx Breaks.
Rolling, I tear up the road. Rocking, I rushing and smoke out the road. Ripping and running, don't run out the road. No, it's PGR, you know how we roll. I'm up from rags to riches. Check out my rags, they riches. Yeah, I'm a handsome nigga. I reckon my dad, that nigga. Roll out an ounce, I don't do the job. Rocking and rolling in love with the all. Rolling and runs in the back of the bar. Look his hands, I double the balls. Russian, AKI, Russian, me, roll up, big dough, 3 points, AKI.
Yeah.
Stick in the back of the car, walk on the green, I put it on sauce. Walking on cloud, it's making it call. After the smoke, you know I'm a dog. Rolling up Russian cream, yeah, it's never a backward drought, no. Rolling up Russian cream, yeah, it's never a backward drought, no.
Yeah.
Rolling up Russian cream, yeah, it's never a backward drought, no. It's never a backward drought, no. It's never a backward drought. I got a stick in this Russian, yeah. I got a bitch out of Russia, yeah. I call a blitz and they Russian. I got a roll of the Russian.
Yeah.
Cream, Russian. Cream, Russian, cream, Russian, cream, Russian, cream, gelato, mean, hydroponics, sticky, green, hold up, roll up, I got peas, you just roll that backwood, please. I keep a bomb to smoke, tight back at the envelope, check how I'm on the dope, roll it up on my notes, hit like a line of coke, 420 time to 220, holding it down on choke. Holding it down on choke. Big drinks on deck. Okay. Russian shot, roulette. Roll up on me that R. And face one to the neck. Okay. Go loud to the death. Sky God in the bed. Smoke more than red man. And I out smoke meth.
Yeah.
Rolling up Russian cream. It's never a backward drought.
Never.
Rolling up Russian cream. It's never a backward drought.
Jinx Breaks.
Rolling up Russian cream. It's never a backward drought. No. It's never a backward drought. No.
It's never a backward drought.
Yeah. I got a bitch out of Russia. I call a blitz and they Russian. I got a roll of the Russian. Russian, cream, Russian, cream, Russian, cream, Russian, cream.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? You know what's going on. It's your boy Prophet Pete, and you tune into the Prophet Radio Show NY, where we do it big, introducing new artists, dope artists, people that's been in the game for a minute, and just chopping it up, trying to figure out how they were able to do it or been doing what they got going on, man. And that was Jinx Breaks, Russian Cream, Backwood 3. Make sure that you find that on all streaming platforms, man. It's definitely fire. Shout out to one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met out here doing this thing, man. Nothing but love for Jinx Breaks. So we got a dope show for you today. We definitely going to chop it up. We got a special guest that's going to be in the building. We're going to chop it up, talk about their music and all that wonderful, great stuff. So as we sit there and we move on throughout the day, we're going to touch on some topics, of course. Money, life, love, and music. It's the Prophet Radio Show where we touch on things like that. And first off, today is National DJ Day. So shout out to all my DJs. Shout out to the first dude that ever hit the horn button. Shout out to all that wonderful stuff, man. Got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of things to talk about, but we got our special guests in the building. We definitely going to chop it up with him, talk about this music that he got going on, and want to know where he been and how he got to where he was going. So shout out to the guests, y'all.
All right. What's going on now? How's everything?
What's going on? Everything good?
Yeah, man, maintaining, these COVID days, saying just getting through them is a blessing.
Yo, I tell you, man,
yeah,
it's definitely still being in going into 2021 and still having the same discussion, man. It, it's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't even know, you know, where to go with it anymore. It's like, yo, what do we do? Do we just stay in the house and hide and wait till it's all over, or do we keep like it's crazy?
Yeah. You hit it on the head. It is crazy. One of the things that I thought should have happened, like right off the rip, was that the country should have moved together. Like Trump definitely wasn't about the well being of the people. And that was evident, throughout the whole thing. But just to say, if we had, and I think everybody had kind of just locked in for the duration of the virus, saying itself.
Yeah,
Like how long it would be with you. Like if you get it and say it's 3 weeks, max. If everybody had locked in for 3-4 weeks max and just not and suffocated it as a country, I think we would have been a lot better off. But Trump, looked at New York and what happened here in New York, man. It was you here in New York, right?
yeah. I'm in New York.
Yo, so you already know, like, yo, we had no point of reference. You know what I'm saying? Like when we had 700-800 people dying a day, yo, man, I wasn't going to my incinerator. You know what I'm saying? I was wiping off doorknobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so for the country to see us go through it today and think that it couldn't hit them in the crevices, like that was a major mistake. That leadership should have been able to kind of see that, we should have moved as a country. You know what I'm saying? And he made it even worse and made it political. You know what I'm saying? And which is why we got 400,000 that pay. I never would have thought 400,000 Americans, you know what I'm saying, would have been gone in 1 year.
No,
Like that's a direct result of dude's leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a horrible job of just maintaining, man, just maintaining the situation.
yeah, and being from New York, homegrown. I've never. This is the place I was born at, and being around for as long as I've been around, never seen nothing like that. Like it was a scary situation. You talking about you gonna go to the incinerator?
You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't even front. Like like cats were horrified, man. Cats
Yeah,
were horrified. We had no idea what was taking place. You know what I'm saying? Like we was really, like, yo, man, listen, like I was wearing them plastic jumper rain suits. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I was wearing them joints outside. Like I was not playing, man. And I spread the gods. I lost an uncle myself. So many people lost relatives, and man, it was crazy. Word up, it
yeah.
was crazy.
What really threw me for a loop because for my 9 to 5, I'm an essential worker. So
Oh,
throughout everything that was going on, you know, I was still at work. I still had to,
mm,
handle my business, and it was scary. And you know, getting up, going to work,
mm.
coming home, and seeing what the streets look like. I've never seen
Yo,
New York,
New
no
York dead
outside,
empty.
no people, no. I was like, yo, this is like some aftermath to some Armageddon something. And
Word.
then the pictures of the hospital setting up
The
stuff.
most putting in the trunks. Word
Yo,
up.
you had
Yeah.
the bodies in the trucks, and then you had tents in Central Park,
Word.
right on Sinai Hospital. And I'm like, yo, I used to play there when I was a kid, and now this is a COVID, treatment area. Like real crazy, real
Yeah,
crazy.
man. And,
And
and and it's like the rest of the country really didn't really, like they thought. Some people still was like, it's a hoax. Some, like people were saying all kinds of banana stuff and doing everything but taking it seriously. And now look at the news, you see the map of the COVID. It didn't have to be like that, man. Really didn't.
no, it didn't. It didn't. If and with administration leadership, and what I realized is when it comes to leadership and everything else, especially when it comes to government, they tend to be more reactive than proactive.
Right? I mean, shoot, this idiot got rid of the team that was supposed to supposed to give us the early warning, you know what I'm saying, and so we ordered everything up. You know, like he literally dismantled the team, you know, like as soon as he got everything that Obama touched, he did his best to unravel, you know what I'm saying? And that's his character as well. Like, you know, like dude just did a horrific job at, you know what I'm saying, at taking care of the country, man. He really did.
Yeah, well, today marks the day that we
You
got
know?
rid of him,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And we got rid of him. We got new leadership in place, and I'm hoping that I know that no one can pull off miracles. We're talking about a country of many, many, millions, billions of people in it,
Right.
and you got one person that has to basically try and fix what happened the last 4 years, and
Right.
it's going to be a long road travel. And I
Yes,
hope
it is.
you don't think that he got into office today, and come March or April, that everything is going to be cleared up and cleaned up.
Yeah, dang. Well,
Like,
hopefully we in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? That we headed in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? As a country, and that catch like you know what I'm saying, like that is not a systemic classism or racism. You know what I'm saying? It's not about gender. It's not about sex. You know what I'm saying? It's about people, man. Like you got to, you know, like we it's sad to see how divided the country became. You know what I'm saying? When we all kind of, you know what I'm saying, got the same work degree as far as, you know, the best for our families, our loved ones. We all want to succeed in life. You know what I'm saying? We all want you know, we don't want to live in crime infested areas. We all, you know what I'm saying, we all don't want the same things, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of look at each other, especially in our community, like, you know, like we've been so disenfranchised that we've got the audacity to look at each other like with the issue. You know what I'm saying? And instead of us, you know what I'm saying, uniting, like our walk is supposed to be solidified like from long ago. You know,
right,
we on the same team from a long time ago. And you know, they got us in the position where we're not seeing each other as brothers, as sisters, you know what I'm saying? And that's just dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? And but beyond that, as a country, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we all want the same things, you know what I'm saying? And I think the more that people are grasping it, you know what I'm saying, like things are happening, like, you know, you know, you saw the walks all over the world, you know what I'm saying, for the police brutality and things of that nature that's been going on in our community. And you know, all of that speaks volume as far as character. But at the same time, we also see that half our country still voted for Trump after everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's disheartening. You know what I'm saying? Like to say that every other person is literally somebody you kind of got to keep your eye on. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing that Trump did was a disqualifier. You know what I'm saying? Nothing he did was a disqualifier from them. So you know, like we got to be aware of that as people. You know what I'm saying? And that's every other person. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's not even like, you know, one and two. That's if two people, one of them you better keep your eye on. Shit, you better keep your eye on both, but at the same time, you know, you know, that's just to say that's how real it was though. Like the person was voting for Trump, like man, wow, word,
yeah.
still.
I think me personally, when I was looking at those numbers and the way things were going, like I really had to take a step back and try and really understand what was going on in this country right now, because we dealt with so much, and just we dealt with a lot of things within the 4 years. But I would say the last 9 months in last year, we dealt with a
Whew.
slew of things, right? A
Word.
slew of things, and it was like
Like the
nothing,
express lane. Word,
right.
that
It
shit
was
was
like, whew.
rocking.
And I'm like, well, how is this possible? And I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I had to really try and get a different perspective on things, because looking at it from my perspective, I'm like, yo, there's no way he should have got any votes. But you know what? There are people that don't live what we live. The
Right.
violence in our neighborhoods, the racism, the brutality. There's a lot of things that they don't even see, and the white privilege
It's real.
statement in itself. I've seen so many things just with them storming the Capitol. What was that, a week and some things ago, right?
Yo, man.
Them
Yo,
storming,
they wild for that. Word up.
right? So now, mind you, if we think back throughout history, right, we had the Black Panthers that sat there at the Capitol building with the right to bear arms.
Wait, word.
It is in the Constitution that we have the right to bear arms and protect ourselves, right?
Right.
The whole against terrorism, foreign and domestic, all that, right? We have the right to be able to protect ourselves,
Right.
right? Just from them being peaceful and being at the Capitol and doing what they did with a peaceful protest and exercising their constitutional right, the government went after them and dismantled them.
Yep.
And the way they did it, we could get into the stipulations and all that other stuff. But what they did, they injected drugs and stuff like that into those neighborhoods to dismantle the Black Panthers,
Yeah.
where they thrived and they were able to stand up and do certain things. Now, mind you, the government
they've always seen our unity as something
right,
as something that had to be quelled. Anytime we were coming together, I mean, that goes to the bombing in Tulsa. I mean, like anytime they see us, saying, having a power structure coming together, they quickly do everything they can to dismantle it. For the odd reason that I believe that for some reason, I believe that they think that we do have a power structure that's legitimate, that we might want to return the favor or feel like they owed something, or like we're kind of structured differently than they are, but they've done everything in their power to make sure that we never rise to, how somebody knows that that they should get their ass beat. You know what I'm saying? And they've always quelled that. You know what I'm saying? Just because they know they should get their ass beat for that. But like what's ours, man, and that's just life at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody got time for for that per se. You know what I'm saying? We do want some of the things that are old, but their lives isn't one of them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And every time, just like you was talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and things like that, I sit there and I think back to certain things, right? And there was a lot of talk about reparations, right? Now, there's people out there feel, we need our just dues. We were treated unfairly. We've been treated unfairly. We was enslaved in this country. Boom, boom, boom. Yada, 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 right? Break it down. I get it. I straight understand it. Right? Now, for people that don't know, right, the Jewish community, Jewish people receive reparations for something that the United States has no part of. Right? And China.
Right. And the Native Americans, they get paper too, but they had everything to do with it. But just to say, yeah, man, they throw that paper around like, this is my word. When what's the country that he got impeached for the first time? He was trying to, it was quo. We give that country money every year.
Russia. Wasn't it Russia?
No, not Russia. Not Russia. What was the country? The first impeachment. It had and Giuliani out there. But just to say to say that I found out we give them money every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a war that they was devastating odd years ago. You know what I'm saying? Just on some humanitarian shit. And this is my word. Like, where do we fall? I mean, it's obvious we don't fall in this line anywhere. And this is my thing. Like, the fact that they cutting checks, cut us a check, man. Like the fact that y'all cutting checks that y'all never touched. Y'all physically hung us. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all owe us. and not to say that, reparations or, like, are a main theme in my thought process as far as us doing what we got to do for ourselves regardless. But I do feel like this. Keep this analogy, and I give this, and I say when they seem to not kind of catch it, saying, this is kind of how I explain it. Like, yo, a long time ago, my great 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 grandfather had a bike. He rode his bike everywhere he went. You know what I'm saying? And it was essential. The bike was essential to his well-being. He went to market in the bike. He went to work on the bike. He took his bike, wherever she needed to go on the bike. His kids, wherever they needed to go on the bike. You know what I'm saying? If he had to go to the hospital, he put the kid on the bike and take him to the hospital. It was essential. You know what I'm saying? And this white dude's great 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 grandfather saw him on his bike, and he hit him with a rock in the head and took his bike. Now, today, years and years and years and years have gone by, and I see you, this white kid, riding my great 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 grandfather's bike while I'm walking. Now, is it for me to take the bike from you, or is it for you to share the bike with me today? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I equate, you know what I'm saying, that paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, either y'all gonna give us what's ours, what we work for, you know what I'm saying, what we bled for, what we died for, or either we gonna take it or y'all gonna share it. Those are the only two options. Like, we can't go forward no more. You know what I'm saying? Watching y'all ride by on a bike, that's ours. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got nerve to say, hurry up. You can't keep up. That's your fault. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a lot of audacity in that white privilege. And they don't realize that, they've been handed a bike. You know what I'm saying? That we died for. You know what I'm saying? And it just ain't right.
And I'll tell you, you being from New York, and when we sit there and we could talk about 1,000 different things, right?
True that.
But we know that the way I see it, right? Us as black and brown people, we are what they consider, right, a threat to America.
Word.
Right? And the reason why I say that is because in many instances, America has attempted to systematically take away our rights and what we are able to do and make it difficult for us to be able to move in a direction to even be able to have equality.
Yeah.
One of the things that blew my mind, and I grew up in this era, was the Rockefeller drug law. Mind you, Rockefeller was not black or brown.
Right.
But the law targeted black and brown people.
Right.
I will say this all the time. I'm sorry. Where I went to school at, we didn't have chemistry class. So I didn't know how to cook crack.
All right.
The chemistry class that I had in my public elementary school or my public high school or even junior high school, they brought that technology to us and said, yo, here, take the drug that we use, you chemically alter it. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to bring you the
power. Oh, without question. They ain't that much experience in the world for somebody, for a brother, take some coke out of nowhere and decide to cook it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that much technology in our community. Man, listen.
this is post-internet. Like, you wasn't just, how do you Google, how do you make crack? No, they have that. And then you got more time for altering cocaine.
Right.
Than you did selling cocaine.
Like 10 to 1. Word. Crazy.
You was doing life getting caught with a little baggie of some crack.
You,
You know,
yeah.
but
Nah, it's real. It's
we can
real.
think about it. But the 40 acres and a mule situation that we were offered when we were supposedly right, because if you sit there and you read into the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and all these documentations that said, "Hey, look, we were set free," but there is so much in there that said you were set free to a point,
Right.
and
Without question.
we're gonna give you this. No, we're gonna promise you this,
Yeah.
but you're never going to truly get it.
Right. Right.
They said instead of 40 acres and a mule, how about we open up a black bank? We put money in the black bank that is owned by the white government or the white
Structure.
ownership. You can put your money in, but don't ask for it. And then we're going to utilize this money to grow our communities that you were excluded from.
Right.
You know, but this is that system that allows me to understand that we as people today have worked 10 times harder to be looked at the same as an individual that hasn't had to go through half the stuff that we've been through. And to me,
We're not even viewed as high as they are.
no. And hip hop in itself is a prime example of that. Right? When you look at hip hop,
Yeah,
right?
no question.
Hip hop was hip hop is no, you can't do this. Hip hop started off underground, right? Today is
Right.
National DJ Day,
All
right? So we were pushing music, we were doing this, we was creating things in our basements, trying to figure it out. And I know you can relate. When you sitting there, you trying to make a mixtape, and you listening to the radio, and you holding the record button and the play button,
Oh, without question.
and you messing around with it, and you.
Man, I done paused buttons so many things, man. Shoot. Word up. I done made instrumentals, pause buttons, putting and stuff, man. Word up.
I'm telling you, sticking tissue, recording over some joint, and we sticking tissue in a little.
So you can go over it.
Yeah.
Shoot, cutting some tape so you can piece it together because your tape. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Yeah. Word up. Done did it all.
So
Word up.
We have shown that we are resilient as people. And that's what is so scary to the individuals that don't even understand how to accept us, where America could be greater.
Right. That's so for real, man.
If they accepted us.
Word up. If they play fair, man, yo, this is my word. Like this, man, they have no idea. Like they shorten themselves, shorten us. You know what I'm saying? Sincerely. Word themselves shorten us. And with everything you said, we still rise. You know what I'm saying? Like they still look at us like how did they do that? They get here. How are they how does he live next to me? You know what I'm saying? Like how, you know what I'm saying? Everything that I know we've done to make that not possible, they're moving in still. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still at the forefront of culture. You know what I'm saying? They're still inventing things that we need. You know what I'm saying? Like, like at the end of the day, man, like we don't do it because we do it despite. You know what I'm saying? And they need to realize, like, at the end of the day, we're together. So like we don't look at them as what they've presented themselves to be. But why? Because we know they're better than that. We know they're better than that. They just don't. Word up. And that's the sad part. Word.
It is so sad that to me it just boggles my mind. And as we sit there and we move through things, and the first time, and I've said this numerous times on several shows that I've had, what blew my mind is when I was a high school dropout, right? Because of course I was one of those individuals that they classified as a statistic, right? I grew up in a certain area. I was already written off.
I feel I know, especially for the projects, man. I know how it goes. So I was real fortunate to kind of get moved around a little something that helped me. But like yeah, man, like especially coming up in the projects, man. Listen, man, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So for me, I dropped out of high school. I had a kid at a young age, but my parents have both my parents in my life, and my pops always took care of me. My mom took care of me. I made the decision. I made the decision to have a kid at a young age. So I left school, left going to college, left doing all that to take care of my family. But it took me after having kids and taking care of my responsibilities and going back to school to see how messed up the system was and that we didn't even realize it. And they tell us every day on the news in front of our face that we are minorities, but minorities have nothing to do with a number. It has to
Right,
do with
right,
the
right.
ability to control what your day to day life is,
mm, mm,
right?
right.
So, and they say, you have no control over what you do every day, but I'm going to call you a minority group leader, which means you control a group of people that don't control shit, right?
So
Because we
real.
say what happens to you every day. And that college class that I took, it was a cultural diversity class. I will never forget it.
Mm,
The projects, of course, it was a project. It was supposed to be a stepping stone. But they put thousands of family on of one block, one New York square block, right? Because the first project that was ever put up was in LES,
uh, on the Lower East
Lower East,
Side. I got family right in there.
right? So that was the first one. They put thousands of families in a one square block radius, limited resources, and and low rent, limited resources, no jobs, right? But you had a liquor store on the four sides of the projects, right?
All right.
That you had a liquor
Right.
store, so
Right.
they wanted to see how it was going to work. So within the text that I was reading, they basically said if you take a bunch of rats, put them in a box, put limited food, what will happen? Right? Only the strong survive.
Right. They're
The
gonna start eating off each other.
Right. So we're gonna sit there. We're gonna try and figure out, yo, how I'm gonna survive. Yo, I gotta live. Fuck it. If that rat across from me in that corner can't even live, you know what? I might have to eat his bones. It just might be that way.
Yo.
So that's what the project started off as. When
Right.
I that changed my whole perspective on life forever.
All right. Right.
Forever.
That broke down to let's see if they do what the rest do. You know what I'm saying? Let like we we don't have to hang them if we conduct this project. Saying like we don't have to go through the things that we've been doing to keep them down. If we can get generation after generation to come up in this rat infested project. You know what I'm saying? And they've successfully manipulated, our well-being into a project. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, it's over. Like, and the key thing is you hit around the head. Once you peaked it, you know what I'm saying? Once you peaked it, like everything changes. You know what I'm saying? And they've been peaked it. You know what I'm saying?
They created
That
it.
right, exactly, exactly. Their actions say it. Later for what their mouth says. Their actions say, oh, they've been peaked it. Yo, it's past time for us to readdress everything that's on the books, man. And that's where my head is at as far as and even bringing a full circle to music. You know, like what's popular right now doesn't remotely speak on what we're talking about tonight. Not even
Mm.
remotely. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power of hip hop. Hip hop is the voice of the people. It speaks truth to power. It's soulful and yeah, you can have fun and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's empowering. You know what I'm saying? They've taken away the voices that would have this conversation over music. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the native tongue. You don't see a KRS. You barely see a Chuck D. You know what I'm saying? Like they've stifled our ability to build. And what was we talking about just a minute ago? We was talking about us every time we start building something, how they dismantle it. You know what
All
I'm
the
saying? Every time we start building something that has the potential to be powerful, they dismantle it. And we've got to be sharp because we're in the moment. You know what I'm saying? We're in the moment. We got to start making some real moves out here as far as what we support, or what we affiliate ourselves with, what we don't affiliate ourselves with. You know what I'm saying? And what we doing. You know, like it's time for us. You know, we're at a place now where we've got probably more black millionaires than ever in life as far as the ability to cause change. It's not for the power structure to and that's what it is. We play in a power structure game. It's time for us to start unifying. We can't think of us investing with a brother as something that's a problem or something that's that warrants a red flag, or that can't be trusted. It's demanded right now. Like all of the millionaires, be it the LeBrons to the Oprahs to the Jays to the Puffs, whoever, if you find yourself fortunate enough, you know what I'm saying, it's time to start building things together. Everybody needs to start putting money into pools. You know what I used to always wonder? If the people who lived in the projects didn't pay, if everybody in the building didn't pay their rent for 3 months, but put their rent for 3 months into a pool, shit, that might be enough paper, you know what I'm saying, to buy a piece of to buy a building, or at least a down payment on it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a power when we move together that they've been denying us since we got here.
but
You know what I'm saying?
but they've told us that you can't trust the person that looks like you that is standing right next to you.
Right,
So systematically, I could look at you and be like, yo, what's your game? Yo, you trying to get over on me.
right,
Why
right.
should I mess with you? What I should trust is the person that hasn't been through what I've been through, but they telling me they could take me to new heights.
Right, exactly.
And
You know
that
what I'm saying? And that just doesn't make sense.
and
That
when it
just doesn't make sense
comes
on
out,
any level.
labels.
The
That's
only thing that does is occupies us with each other and lets them live a carefree life. They're mad. They're mad when we're not at each other's throats. They're mad when we're looking at them and asking them to be accountable for things that they've done.
it's
You know
like,
what I'm
why are
saying?
you asking me a question?
You know
You're
what I'm saying? Yeah, I
not
wasn't here. That wasn't me. That was
that was
my father that took the
my
bike that I'm riding.
grandfather.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my great grandfather took this bike I'm riding. Like, why you mad at me? You know what I'm
Benefits.
saying?
Sorry.
Right. You
Sorry for
know.
you. Like
Right.
they do this
Exactly.
all the time.
Exactly. You know.
And when we talk about hip hop, and you said it yourself, right? That has been the voice of the people, right? But somehow the labels, right? Because we don't occupy labels. They they they,
that 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 would
they
be the equivalent of the white power structure.
right. So when we sit there and we talk about labels, right? A label will take an individual. As far as hip hop is concerned, I don't care about any other genre. I'm not even worried about it,
All
right?
right. No doubt.
They will sit there and they will say, "Yo, we'll sign you." But if what you're saying interrupts their movement, they will sign you and shelf
And
you.
shelf you. Yeah.
Shelf
Quickly.
you.
Quickly.
Like,
That yo, you ain't nothing but a tax write off now. They,
right.
they ain't even, they ain't even lose money on you. You know what I'm saying? Like come on, man.
It-
Like for real, for real. You
they
know,
don't
yo,
got cut an extra check after they gave you a check. They was able to write you off 3 times over,
yeah,
right?
word up.
And then to top it all off, I hate it when they sat there and while we was talking about the voice of the people through hip hop, they categorize certain artists as conscious rappers, right?
Yeah, Yeah.
You're conscious. You're woke. Guess what? We gonna put you to sleep. We gonna put you on that shelf that's behind the wall, and you gotta hit a secret button to even get to you.
They say conscious like it's bad. They got us saying conscious like it's bad. Oh, you trying to kick knowledge? Like just the audacity of that shit is crazy. Word. Like yo, what? You know what I'm saying? And that's yet another obstacle between us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and even take it even deeper is that they've gotten to the point where the paper that we're gonna put what we're gonna put this money behind is those that are speaking to our agenda. And the agenda right now has become on a low since prisons became privatized. Now every private prison receives federal money just for being filled to capacity.
Mm.
For being filled to capacity, you get paper from federally. You
But how
don't
did
get it
those
if
gyms
if
pass?
you're not filled.
But how did
So
they kill them?
so no, but P game. So now with the young cats, yo, the agenda is clear. They done took masculine men out of the situation, added lean drugs and pistols. Cats refuse to learn how to fight, let alone can fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and every confrontation, every interaction that's not seen the same way becomes a confrontation. And any critique, you know what I'm saying, is followed not by a rebuttal, but by gunshot. Like cats have gotten to the point where we can't even have conversations with each other because if you hurt my feelings, I'm gonna have to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And but all of it goes to this agenda, to the privatized prison agenda, the music, the lifestyle. Everything is about, you know what I'm saying, keeping these privatized prisons filled because that's paper that's now on the stock market. And if you do the knowledge, whose children are going to fill those prisons? Ours.
Yeah.
What do they listen to? This is what they listen to. Well, let's manipulate what they listen to. Anything that's telling them other than what's our agenda, let's quiet that. Let's quiet that. We have an agenda. Our agenda is above their heads. When I was on Mercury, which was the first label I was on, Wolf of Sheep's Clothing came on Mercury Records. Mercury was owned by Polygram, now which is all music. But Pete Game, Polygram was owned by Philips Light. Philips Light doesn't give a damn about music. You know what I'm saying? They whole shit is how much money are we making? And if we're not making money, why are we not making money? Get rid of what's not making money. Whatever's not fulfilling the agenda of Philips Light, Polygram is in tow with. You know what I'm saying? So that's just speaking to the agenda that I'm speaking to now. You know, there's things above our head in life, and breaking down black families, putting black children and black fathers in prison on a rotating system is part of the agenda. That's above our heads, and we got to peep that early. And hip hop has the power to identify that, to show you how to move, to play chess, to not be a victim by the time you're 16, to have a second felony by the time you're 18, because that's the plan. The plan is to take your vote out of your hand. Make sure you can't get a gun. Hold up. We're afraid of your skin. It has nothing to do with what you've done already. You ain't done nothing but be born. We fear you because of what we've done. You know what I'm saying? So all of this plays into what our mission is. Our mission is to supersede all of that. Our mission is to keep all of that. Our mission is to make sure, to ensure our families are intact. Our missions are to ensure that, you know what I'm saying, kids aren't put in the position where they do the things that they're doing that remove their peers and put them in prison. You know what I'm saying? Because the prison is nothing but a modern day slave camp. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
That's all. And they keep you there as long as they can to get to squeeze every dollar out of you being there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's what it is. And unfortunately, our music isn't a reflection of what's going on. Coming out of these times, I'm hoping that changes. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, not only does the country have an opportunity to kind of step up and add a little bit of character to itself. Right now our music does too, you know what I'm saying? And I hope our music reflects. I know I got a project coming that does, you know what I'm saying? And that brings it even further, you know what I'm saying? Like I got this D&D project that I'm ecstatic about. Before, like a little over a year ago, I still do a lot of shows. I've done released a bunch of solo projects on my own label called Pool of Genius. And so I was in Chicago doing a show, and Katz was like, "Yo, you want to meet Dilla's mom?" And I like hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like like I didn't even know Dilla like that. He's mad cool with all of the natives though. Like, but I just for some reason wasn't around like that at the time, and like I met him once in passing, but I didn't know him like that. And so I had an opportunity to meet his mom, and I was like, "Yeah, please bring her back." They brought her backstage. She came back with her husband, Tony. And so, talking to Mar Dukes and Tony, and it was just a pleasure to meet them, just good people. And so, I thought that was cool. And that was just out of respect. Of course I want to meet her, So, like the next month, I had a show in Puerto Rico, and I'm rocking, and I look to the side of the stage, and who's standing there? Dilla's mom and her husband, Tony. So after I, come off stage, I go straight to them, and I'm talking to them, and they let me know that they had a crib out there. They invite me back. Ma's gonna cook, and Tony's like, "Yo, I got some DJs coming through. They're gonna spin in the yard. Come hang out." I'm like, yo, that sounds right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? So I go hang out with them in the kitchen with Mars while she's cooking, and what I'm saying, hanging with Tony, chopping it up, talking business, and come to find out, like they're telling me that like that they had recently gotten a lot of the rights of his music back under the umbrella of the estate, and they were looking for different things to do with with the catalog. And they at the end of the night, they asked me would I be interested in putting a project together from Dilla's personal folders. To which I was like, yo, I mean, I was blown away because I was like, they could have asked anybody in the whole world that. And
Yeah,
and they asked me, what I'm saying? Like anybody would have been like, thank you, what I'm saying? And so, I took it
yo,
like, like that they had seen me rock a couple of times and they felt like, like that I'd be that maybe it was something that they thought maybe their son would be cool with, or maybe, whatever. But I really took it as just a blessing. But it started me on this trip, man. Like I started watching every Dilla interview, even stuff when his moms did, or did different crews from what I'm saying when he was young, what I'm saying, the stuff that he was doing when with Slum to like Proof, the
yeah,
singles that he did with Proof, who was my man. What I'm saying, I used to kick it with Proof every time I went to Detroit. What I'm saying, that was my dude. And you know, it was just became this thing where I really started taking it real seriously, just finding out everything I could before I even got the tracks. And I wound up hooking up with her husband Tony down in DC, went to studio, and I just created a folder pulling tracks from the stuff that he was playing for me. And so the whole year 2020 for me was me creating this project. And I'm glad I kind of just finished mixing it, and it's got features from the likes of Bun B, the Freeway, the CeeLo Green, Chuck D, my man, um, shoot, Chi Ali, Myson, got Delta Funky Homo Sapien, Corey Guns, got Lil Afro and Corey Lil D, my man Alexander Simone, who's the grandson of Nina Simone. What I'm saying? Like, man, this project is so special. I took my time and I think I said Bun B. Just put a really dynamic project together, man. And I leaked a joint called Dilla Drums that's got me and Chuck D on it as a voting initiative because I had just finished mixing everything. It's not even mastered. It wasn't even mastered. But I was like, this record is more powerful before the election, so I released it through just through MJ. Let MJ send it to everybody. So I hope she sent it to you. And just to say that, like just to kind of show cats what was coming and kind of push them a little bit towards, like voting is real important right now. And just, speaking to the times, like, the hip hop that we're speaking about what's going on out here. And and it was really well received. And like I said, it was a true leak. You can't buy it, saying it's not available anywhere. It's not even mastered. You kind of had to be gifted it. So that made it kind of cool. But it also kind of let cats know that, I got a really dope project coming. I formed it as a group and called it D&D. And D&D is Dilla and Dres. And I did that kind of so that like that as a true thanks to moms. Saying like like to break bread with her for the estate, for everything that like that is a continuous thing, and even doing shows. Saying like I want to bring a D&D element to it. But just to say, I got this project that I'll be releasing. Probably in the second quarter. It'll probably be like going into summer. And there's a mini documentary on the making of it. And like just my word, like it reminds me of when me and Long were in the studio after The Choice Is Yours, after we finished mixing the remix of The Choice Is Yours, and we're playing it in the studio. I turned to Long and I was like, yo, I don't know what we did with this, but I know we just did something. And that's how I feel about this album. It's like I don't know what it is I did. I can't wait to find out. But I really in my heart I feel like I just did something. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that's heard snippets of the album and all that stuff, they're like just blown away because it's a powerful project. It makes you feel good. It's the name of the album is called No Words, and for the reason that like a lot of times cats kind of peep the gap between the generations. Whereas our generation is like, speaking about the golden era and what it was, and young cats are almost like, like I don't mess with the molded cats, I don't mess with this kind of beat. And I wanted a project that, that a young cat could hear and get the feeling that we got when we put on some headphones and sat on the subway taking a ride somewhere and just went somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? That's the project I created. You know what I'm saying? It's called No Words because I could show you better than I could tell you. You know what I'm saying? So I put that project together, and I'm looking forward to cats checking it out.
Well, speaking of No Words, right? D&D, right? Dilla and Dres. I want to play them the snippet of Blessed to Life.
All right, Bless the Life.
Yeah. So we gonna get into that. I got a couple of joints of yours. I definitely want to play some of the joints so this way, people understand what you're doing out there.
That's what's up.
And it's like I said, speaking to you, I got to know you as an individual.
All right.
Right? Got to know you as an individual. And then I listened to your music before we got.
You just did the freeze frame on me. All right. Taking over the show now. All right. Oh. I hope y'all hearing it because he's locked up on me.
Let me fly the 10 instructions with specific tone to pick it up a notch. With a kick in the crotch. Hip hop came to tell you you not woke cause you watch. Ain't arrived to shuck and jive. How the rose the rise. The middle finger to crump from the Central Park 5. Cause every color knows my mother be your lover alike. She said the world's a better place whenever the people unite. And I'm like, you let that admit. So every child be a kitten. Taking no more judging brothers by the color of their skin. To be healthy, to be wealthy. You are recognized. With a grab the mic and mumble next to rise. Different size comes up to every family. Can't be overstated. Middle to the crump from every kid he's separated. One time, a brand new day is sunshine. New time, all accepting the change and new time. I'ma hope you free this new time. The life I live is all mine. One time, a brand new day is sunshine. New time, all accepting the change and new time. I'ma hope you free this new time. The life I live.
Yeah. So,
All right.
so that was Blessed the Life. Now, even to talk about that, you brought up the Central Park 5, and as we sit there and we even just in a brief moment to sit back to the way the system, because the Central Park 5 was acquitted, they didn't even do it. Right, but they sat there and they took us and they was like, yo, you did it. They ain't nothing you gonna do to get out of this. We gonna throw you over here. You gonna sit there and just shut up.
Yo, man. And they were babies, man.
In our communities for so long, there are so many innocent individuals that sit in jail, and because we don't understand the system, we just sit. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
I can tell that's what they do. They go in there like, what am I supposed to do? They said I did it. I got convicted. Is there anything else I could do? I don't know.
Right.
I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna
Right.
sit here. I'm gonna watch, and
Right.
that's what it is.
Yeah, and yeah, it's unfortunate that that's something that every generation has been dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like yeah, man, like that's so unfortunate that that's literally how they do our children and manipulate our families. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power structure that we rely on to protect us. You know what I'm saying? To help
He,
us.
uh,
You know?
we sitting here. Oh, you back?
I'm here. I'm here. You froze up on me.
Because I'm
Did I
not
freeze up on
frozen,
you?
but you seem frozen.
Oh, that's crazy. Cause that what was happening with me. Like I wasn't frozen, but you was frozen. Oh man, am I still frozen?
I, now you
You
good?
still frozen for me? Okay, there you go.
Nah, you good. I don't even know what's going on. Like
All right.
it's like a freezing
You know
fest
what?
right now.
It's the government. We having a conversation. People need to hear. You know what I'm saying? They were like, hold up, they at it again. Let's freeze them up.
Go by. Or we gonna get into this trains go by real quick.
We
That's
all
what's
been
up.
broke before, so we'd hard to roar. Made big beds, turned into little beds on tour. Took it block to block, took it door to door. Flamed while getting up as a chore. Especially shout to every dude that took their old self to war and wasn't happy. Cause happy you
Hardcore.
time. I lose the vision, trapped in my obscurity and property and property. The water sees maturity as my cells and the cells. Plans and plantation. Like every day I die living in this damn nation. Like every day I die living in this damn nation with conditional release and no meaning emancipation. And only when I'm done will the tale be told. A product of red, black, and green, I'm gold. Ancestors gave excellence. Today I hold the world my receipt. You're convinced I'm froze. I'm looking to the sky, watching trains go by. Can't even deny watching trains go by. Blowing my high, watching trains go by. Why don't you get on? You go somewhere. I ask myself why watching trains go by. Looking to the sky, watching trains go by. You might hear me sigh watching trains go by. Get on and get going. This world out there. There be so many.
All right.
Another dope snippet
I
of,
see.
of what you got going on that D&D project. And
Yo, man, this is my word. Like I can't wait for people to hear it because um like everything that has been shared so far, the snippets and like and the drums, none of it are what I've identified as singles. You know what I'm saying? Like the bar for this record is definitely like where it should be. It's definitely reflective of where we come from. You know what I'm saying? And each record stands on its own, but cats haven't even heard a single yet. Like I feel this is a really really special project, man. All right.
yeah, and just listening to what you saying, like for me, the trains go by. It's like for me, the way it hits me. I'm not too sure of what your vision was and saying that, but we sit there and we watching trains go by. I refer to that train as life,
Without question,
and
no
it's
doubt.
just moving, and it's
Nah,
we sitting there, we just watching it every. And nowadays, yeah, especially with New York City Transit, train go by every 6 minutes.
right.
It's like that
What's up?
life. Like we just sitting there, and we just watching it, and we don't even know what to do in it. But we
Right.
just trying to survive and just trying to make it, or just do what we can. And it's only because we're given the bottom end of the barrel, the short end of the stick, or however they want to refer to whatever one of those haikus are. And
Right.
we're sitting there, we're like, yo, how do we make it different? Throughout the last year and a half, I've spoken to hundreds of people. If it wasn't on a radio show, just individuals every day. And I realized that everybody's life is not the same, and everybody's perspective on life is not the same, and they move different, and they don't understand what it is to move out the way of the freight train that's coming.
All
It,
right.
it, as what we refer me, the freight train being the government and all the oppressive things that we have to deal with,
Right.
just being us. And they just said that, what am I supposed to do? I've watched individuals say, I love Trump because he cut a stimulus check. I'm like, but when you file your taxes at the end of the year, you gotta claim that check, right? And now it just puts you in a new tax bracket.
I mean, he sent a check. Like, yo, like, come on, man. Yeah, like, yo, and this is my word. As far as other countries go, like, yo, there's countries that was giving away 3,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many. Yo, we are the highest as far as infected. We're the lowest as far as being taken care of. Like, and we think we're the greatest at everything we do. Like, it's befuddling. You know what I'm saying? It's insanity. You know what I'm saying? And half of the
But
country,
when we sit there and we look at the situation,
yo, man, it's not it. And and you hit it on the head as well. Like like we're looking at these trains go by, and we're looking at these other trains that are trying to knock us over. You know what I'm saying? And we're asking ourselves, what are we supposed to do?
it's just
You know,
crazy.
and what I'm suggesting, especially in music, is that you don't get nowhere by sitting down. You got to get up. You gotta get out here, and you gotta ride that train that's for you to go somewhere. You gotta reinvent yourself every day if you have to. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find what works for you and what works for your family, and 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 start building. Find like-minded heads and trust each other. You know what I'm saying? Unify and start, come up with objectives. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the businesses that we're going to put together? Those are things that we need to start asking ourselves early in life. Sometimes it's not even about a college degree as much as it's about owning something to build upon. You know what I'm saying? That it could be a sock store. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the things I do give the younger cats credit for is that these young cats, they about their business. These young cats, they're incorporated young. You know what I'm saying? They know about branding. They know about they know how to take advantage of the business aspect of show business. I give them big props for that, and I've learned from them. You know what I'm saying? But they also need to up like we come from a place where the show was much bigger than the business. They're
Mm.
coming from a place where the business is much bigger than the show. Right now, it's for us to find some common ground with both of them. You know what I'm saying? Cats from our era could learn a lot from the younger cats as far as their business aesthetics. But at the same time, they've lowered the bar so low artistically that it's easy, simple to outshine them artistically. You know what I'm saying? The bar's on the floor. Like you're literally walking over the bar at this point. You know what I'm saying? Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like because we got on because we sounded like no one else. They get on because they sound just like somebody. You know what I'm saying? And they're regurgitating the same thing. Everybody sounds like like it's just one long record. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that DJs get the opportunity to be heralded again. You know what I'm saying? Because DJs were the ones who introduced us. They introduced us to new music. But since syndication, everybody started playing the same thing all across the country, and it all just it all just sounds like cold French fries. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get back to let's get some healthy meals back in here. Let's get some steak, some potatoes, some greens. You know what I'm saying? Some corn. Let's get some juice back on the table, some fresh squeeze, something. You know what I'm saying? And let's keep that in perspective next to cold French fries. You know what I'm saying? Like stop feeding us the same thing over and over again. Like we got to get back to the place where DJs can kind of take their power back and start introducing new music, new notions, new things that speak to the walk of society. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't allow ourselves to reach down. The music now, you're dumber for having heard. You know what I'm saying? Let alone for having, put on your playlist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where we don't listen to projects anymore. We just kind of go through everything and create playlists of things that don't make us think, that don't push any envelopes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yo, and that's the truth. And I want to get into this Dilla drum joint featuring Chuck D, man. I want to play this joint for the people.
Okay. After this joint, I gotta get ready to make a couple of moves, man. So
Yeah, no doubt.
but this is my word. I've thoroughly enjoyed, chopping it up with you. And let's play this joint and let's shut it down after this. And I hope after this my project comes out, I get a chance to come back with you, man. Because I'm loving what we doing here, man. This is my word. We need to do more of this.
I do this because usually it don't go past the time it's supposed to go past. I know we went past the time we was supposed to.
Yeah. I got doors opening on me. People looking at me like, yo, come on now.
All right, so here we go, y'all.
All right.
We're dealing with the effects of our historical inheritance. Racism. The institution exists in every industry. Structural inequalities, joblessness, poverty, fragility of the the effects. We the ones that rise like the sun, exemplify fly, sound like none.
Hey, we come to elevate it. We come to elevate it. We come to elevate it. You leave them devastated.
It's a fact on both sides. I'm blacker than yak. Give me back some brown sugar to relax, bro.
Sip to celebrate it. A sip to celebrate it. The person never dated.
Yo, Chuck, you share a leader's lessons. That be your sinner's blessings. Before the woo was you that told us to protect our essence. With flavor bombing sessions, a bridge for adolescence. Unwrap the gift together, prove the present was our presence. Be where the boy's not. Let me make it clear. Boy cop, boy shot like the buck stops there. And the fact you owe dope, reparations manana. And middle finger to Trump from Putin and Melania.
Here it comes. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for illa sums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for illa sums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums.
Seize the rest, cannot be contested. Post like you post, leave no vote suppressed.
I told him not to trust it. Told him not to trust it. Told him not to trust it. How can they not discuss it?
It's a beast that won't bequeath peace. Middle finger to Trump from the COVID deceased.
It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter, does it? I can't trust shit.
Yo, Chuck, get the Visine, hit him with the high beam. Wake up to a nightmare, make you wonder why I dream. Marks at parole, they're gold for black men. Take the gun, take the vote out of every black can. As a world we move together, if I build you climb. Every parent casts a vote that keeps your children in mind. In a line with divine, no crime, not feeling us. We'll deal with attitude, just stop killing
Here
us.
Here it comes, original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for illa sums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for illa sums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums. I hate, it's a terrible taste of fate. Waste energy, blame it on every face, but they don't see a mirror. Get advice to hear you. Genius, Dres. You got them getting nearer. They gotta dig it by now. You be showing them how to go better, get better, be better. Proud to get together. I'm out, Dres. Peace, my brother. Here it comes. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for illa sums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for illa sums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums. We gripping the hits like Dilla drums.
Dres.
We gripping the hits like Dilla drums.
Love.
We gripping the hits like Dilla.
All right.
Yeah, that was
That's what's up. Peace.
That's what I'm talking about, man. And you know, when we talk about good music, that's what we're talking about.
All right, that's love.
Yeah, and definitely, I can't wait. Like I saw the snippets when they came through, and I'm like, snippets. Who sends me snippets? I'm Prophet. Like, who sends me snippets? But you know what? I appreciate the snippets because now I can't wait for everything. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
And you definitely, that was very strategic on your part. Definitely appreciative of that.
That's love.
And yo, when the project come out, yo, look, you already know. You say MJ, tell MJ, yo, hit up.
Shout out to MJ, man. She's on point, man. For real, for real.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to her. Shout out to Hip Hop Connects, all that. Yo, she out there. She doing her thing. She brings a lot of independent artists and artists in general to light and puts them in the forefront.
Right.
And she does what she does, man.
Yeah, she about that. She about that culture for real.
No, she is.
Yeah,
she is. And if you know anything about her background, she's been in hip hop for longer than we freaking imagine. You know, so you know it's a beautiful thing. But yo, I know you gotta handle your business, my brother. So do what you do, and yo, we gonna chop it up. Make sure you stay in touch.
We'll do, man. No doubt.
Yo, MJ sent you the information on how you can rewatch, share, and all that.
Cool. I'll make sure. I know she will. You know what I'm saying. And please feel free to get my man from her. You know what I'm saying. Like let's keep it locked in and you know, keep it moving.
Yeah. Yo, that's as a matter of fact because you'll probably get a message from WEMS Radio, and that'll be my direct math when I send it to you. So cool. we'll be able to link and do whatever. So
sounds good. Yeah, you right here too. That's what's up. All day.
That's what's up, my brother, man. Yo, stay safe out there, man.
Yeah, you do the same, man. And to everybody listening, man, thanks for joining us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay safe as well. Be on the lookout for this D&D project. Stay up with me at Black Sheep Dres on IG, Dres Black Sheep on Twitter, and slide by my website, Pool of Genius, POOLOFGENIUS, poolofgenius.com. Check out some of the solo projects. I did a project with me and Jerobi. There's a bunch of videos. There's some merch. And, you know, everybody stay safe, man. Love is love.
Yo, love is love, bro. Yo, man.
No doubt.
Later. Yo, so you already know, man, it's your boy Prophet Pete. And we break new music. We break all types of stuff that we got going on. We bring to you what you don't even know is out there. But we're so connected within the industry that we get thousands and thousands of submissions of music. And we try to sift through all of them to bring you the cream of the crop, what is worthy. We're not sending you music or we're not playing music that is just for the moment. We're definitely not doing that. We are bringing to you music that will resonate, that is different from what you constantly hear. And this is my man, Pure Dynamite, man. He got this new joint. And if I'm not mistaken, it is called Grip It. Here we go, y'all.
How lit is this?
Yeah, Pure Dynamite in the building. Gang, gang. We here, y'all.
Girl, hold on to orgy like I'm your last dollar. I'm not Marvin Gaye, but I make you wanna holler. Drop down and give me brain, make Pure Dynamite a scholar. I'm all over that IG, I know you wanna follow. I'll bounce you up and down like 64 Chevy Impala. We'll be fucking backstage at the world famous Apollo. Bring two of your girlfriends, let's get the threesome jumping. I guarantee today we gonna be doing some Humpty Humpty. See, I'm concrete hard, yeah, but I fuck you hard. Know it like Nat Turner. Fucking Angelina. After I empty this nut all on your face and tits, you can't say Mike Orgy is your favorite. I'm
Mike Orgy.
American Idol. I wear the porn star title. I'm no Jackson, I'm Michael. A
porn star like Shawn Michaels. No Peter North, I'm from the east. I'll fuck you hard like a beast. I'm on fire, won't cease. When I'm done, the deuce is sign. Peace.
Ooh, you're twerking cool. Girl, you move like your ass is on fire. Can you again and again and again and again?
I grip your hips on this dick. When your ass is thick, don't get it twisted, I'm not a trick. A super freak like Rick, your pussy tight like skinny jeans. You're no Billie Jean, I beat it up like Mitch Green. Cause I'm a pussy fiend, I rock the ass like a wrecking ball. Break down your sugar wall, knock you out like a TKO. Cause you're a super hoe, Bush cherry, that pussy bomb. Babe, let's get it on, fill you up cause those titties soft. I'm here to break you off, fucks it up cause you're a slut. Take it in the butt. I'm an engine, I get it in. I fuck you again and again. Sipping on that juice and gin. Look at me with a sinister grin. Bank a porn star and it's a win. Ward me with the ABN. Like a Lexington or Bryant Park. I came to fuck and I'm here to hump. Love it when your big titties jump. So taste the nut when I'm ready to jump.
Ooh, you're twerking cool. Girl, you move like your ass is on fire. Can you again and again and again and again?
Make sure that you comment, you like the show. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Yo, that was Pure Dynamite with Grip It, man. When I listen to Pure Dynamite, he reminds me of the Luke of the 2000s, right? Bringing to you a lot of what we've seen before they tried to suppress certain type of music, but being of a certain lifestyle, he is very secure in himself. He does what he does, man. He got music out there. Shout out to Pure Dynamite. Shout out to Carousel. Shout out to Nudie Ball. Shout out to all the joints that he got dropping. Yo, look for Mike Orgy. Look for Pure Dynamite. Check out his videos on YouTube. Make sure you listen to his music. Find it where you can find it. If I'm not mistaken, it's on every streaming platform possible, everywhere and anywhere. So just do what you need to do. Show some love, man, because I know I do. And this is your boy, Prophet Pete, from the city that never sleeps. I could white tee it all year. And when you look next, you trying to figure out where I got my full gear. So I'm just letting you know. That's what I do. Prophet Radio, New York. Got the NY fitted on, classic New York. All day, every day. If you can see my feet, you might see the Timbs. That's just what it be. And I'm just letting you know, make sure you stay tuned next week for the heat, the fire, and what we do here on the Prophet Radio Show. You heard? And we out. Gang. I bring the